So, uh, um, so first, I would like to make sure that the others can turn off your microphone. Okay. Good morning. It's already 10 a.m. So we can start our tutorial class for today. But we only have a few people in the class today, so we will wait for another 5 minutes for others to come in, and then we will start our tutorial session. And everyone, can you please tell me whether you can hear me or not?
Yes, madam.
Okay. If then we will wait for another 5 minutes for your other friends to come in, and then we will start. In the meantime, may I know if you guys have the tutorial questions?
No.
Oh no, you don't have. Okay.
Madam,
Yes.
what does
Brandon?
the slash mean?
That means it's divided by.
Or per, the meaning of per?
Uh, for example, for questions 1A, it means 354 milligram times 45 kilometer divided by 0.0356 kilonewton.
I see, I see. Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you.
Okay. Mm, So we will try to solve questions 1A together. For the attendance, actually we have recorded here in the meeting chat. So I will just take the attendance according to the one who joined the meeting in the record here. Okay. So for questions number 1, so as you may see here, the question states that 354 milligram times 45 kilometer divided by 0.0356 kilonewton. So that means you guys have to change the units here into SI units. So for SI units, they are um, kilogram, meter, and also newton. So the prefix here, you guys have to change uh, into SI units also. So for example, for 1A, so it should be 354 times, as you guys know, milli, if we change into numbers, it will be 10 to the power negative 3. So we replace that. And kilometer, so kilo means 10 to the power 3. So you guys change k to 10 to the power 3 and divided by 0.0356. Oh, So for kilonewton, okay, you guys change to 10 to the power of 3. So you guys get this. So the answer, if you guys solve the the numbers, it would be 447 gram dot m per newton. So as you guys know, the questions was in SI unit. So gram is not the SI unit. It should be kilogram. So this one has so the numbers should be divided by 1000. So 1 kg is equal to 1000 gram. So the answer would be 0.4 447 kilogram dot m per newton. Just not to be confused. So between SI unit to the other SI unit, it is advisable to add dot so that other people would know that this means kilogram meter. So if you guys don't put the dot like here, usually people would interpret the m here as the prefix, so it would be like milligram. So to prevent confusion, so between SI unit to the other SI unit, it is advisable to put dot. So this is the answer to questions number 1A. So are you guys clear? So do anyone have any problem with the answer? Uh, no. Okay.
Miss,
Yes.
uh, do we need to change the Newton into kg meter per second square?
No need, because Newton is equal to kg meter kg per cubic meter, right?
Yes, yes. Kg meter as power of negative 2,
Kg
right?
meter over uh seconds.
S square. Second square,
Okay.
yes.
No need, because if you guys can refer to your books, it states that SI unit is meter for length, second for
Mm-hmm.
time, kg for mass, and newton for force. So force, newton is already considered as SI unit. So you guys no need to change.
Okay, thank you, Miss.
Okay. Okay. So if everyone clear, um, okay. So if everyone clear, we will proceed with questions number 2. Questions on B. Okay, so okay. So for questions 1B, so the questions mentioned that 0.00453 megagram times by 201 milliseconds. So you change the the mega to the prefix mega to the form 10 to the power of 6 times 201 milliseconds. So the milli you guys change to 10 to the power of negative 3 seconds. And then you guys would get 911 gram second. So gram is not the SI unit, so you guys have to change to kilogram. So 1 kg is equal to 1000 gram. Okay. Okay. So the answer to questions 1B would be 0.911 kilogram second. So do you guys have any question? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So we will proceed to questions number 3, A13, A1C. So for questions 435 meganewton is divided by to 3.2 millimeter. So the prefix mega you guys change to 10 to the power of 6 Newton divided by 3.2 10 to the power of negative 3 meter. So you guys get exactly. Okay, so for questions 1C, the answer would be something like this. However, usually we don't use 10 to the power of 10 in our daily use or calculation. So basically, with big numbers, we change the form, the exponential form, into prefix. So as you can see, for the 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 10, so the closest prefix would be 10 to the power of 9. So 10 to the power of, so we have to change the 1.88 times 10 to the power of 10 to into prefix forms. So that would be 18.9, which is equal to giganewton per meter. Okay. So the answer for 1C would be 18.8 giganewton per meter. Are you guys clear? So for 1C, you guys have to change the closest exponential form into prefix. In this case, 10 to the power of 9 equal to giga. Are we clear with questions number 1?
Yeah, Miss.
Okay. So now we will proceed with questions number 2 if everyone clears with number 1. So for questions number 2, you guys try first by yourself. So we will discuss these questions after 5 minutes. Okay, so for questions number 2, you guys can use this formula F equal to G times by mass 1 mass 2 and divided by distance square. Okay, for the mass 1 is 8 kilogram, second mass is 12 kilogram. And then the 800 mm apart is the distance between two mass. So in this case, the direction doesn't really matter. So because there are distance between two masses. So you guys try to solve using the equations first. Okay, so for questions number 2, we have the first mass is at 8 kilogram. Mass 2 is 12 kilogram. The distance is 800 millimeter. So that's you directly change into SI unit 0.8 meter. So the questions wants us to find force of the gravity dF and then compare the result with the weight so of each particle. So you guys need to find the weight for mass 1 and also weight for the mass 2. Okay, so for the force, you guys can just use the formula above here. And G is the constant. and you guys will get the answer 10 to the power of 10 negative 9 Newton. So as we practiced in questions 1 earlier, so we change the prefix, we change the exponential form into the closest prefix. So this would be 10 Newton. So for next item that we have to find is the weight for the mass one. So for the weight, we can use the formula W is equal to mg. So for W1, m equals to 8. And then you guys time with gravity, the constant is 9.81. And that would give out the answer 78.5 Newton. For weight 2 is for the mass 2. So 12 kg times with 9.81. Then the weight for mass number 2, it would be 118 Newton. Okay. So there would be 3 items you guys have to find. The first one is the force, weight 1, and also weight 2. So for questions number 2, do you guys clear? Do you guys have any questions? Okay, so if everyone clear with questions number 2 and don't have any questions, so we will proceed with questions number 3. So this is questions number 3. So You guys take 5 minutes, try to solve the questions, and after that, we will discuss the answer together. So for questions number 3, so you guys will need to use the cosine law and also the sine law. So try to uh, extract the necessary information and plug into the cosine and also the sine law, so that you guys can get the resultant force and its direction. Okay, so for questions number 3. So for questions number 3, first we would like to find the resultant force first. So for the resultant force, we can actually use the cosine law. So we equal to square root a square plus b square minus 2ab cos c. So before we can use the cosine law, because okay. So the cosine law, if we change the letter according to our, so it will be something like, so this is f1, we assume this is f2. So f1 square plus f2 square minus 2 f1 minus 2 f1 f2 cos c. So we have f1, we have f2, here we have here, but we don't have the cos, the angle c here. So for this one, we have to find the angle for the cos c here first. So basically, as you guys know, we can actually rearrange the arrow here to be triangle. So in this case, we use the triangle here. This is the parallelogram. We can rearrange into parallelogram, also into the triangle according to what we are looking for. So basically for this one, okay. So since FR is right here, so the angle that we will be searching for is actually here. In this case here. So how to get the angle here? So the only information that they give us is the delta is equal to 60 degree. So this is where the delta is here, which is the 60 degree. And it gives us here 15 degree at the F2 from the x-axis. So basically, so from these two information, we can actually get the angle here. So if we extend the arrow for the F2, you extend like here, the angle here would be equal to the angle here, 15. Okay, and since the questions gives us delta equal to 60, the whole thing here is 60, so that means we can find the angle over here, which is 60 minus 15 equal to 45 degree. And since the angle here is actually at the same angle with here, so the 45 degree here is also 45 degree here. Okay. So that means the angle that we have been looking for the C is 45. Do you guys clear up until here? If you guys don't clear, please let me know. Okay, so we now have the angle here. So now we can solve the resultant force questions. So Fr equal to so do you guys get the answer for the resultant force? Anyone? Okay, that's correct. So the answer for the resultant force would be 497.01 Newton. Okay, so we finished with the resultant force. Now we need to know its direction measured counterclockwise from the positive axis. So that means we know the positive axis, x-axis is here, and measure counterclockwise. So counterclockwise would be something like here. Okay. So this is the angle actually we are looking for. So in the questions, it already give a 60 degree here. Here is 60 degree. And the angle we are looking for is from here up to here. So the remaining angle that we have to find is actually here. Okay. So for these questions, we can use the sine law to find the direction of the resultant force. So okay, this is okay. We try to solve together first. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So for this one, we can use Since the angle that we are looking for is right here, so the force that we need to use in the calculation is opposite to the angle, that would be F equal to 700 Newton. So the angle that opposite to the force to 700 Newton would be 84.8 degree. So since the questions want us to measure its direction from the positive x-axis counterclockwise, so that means we already have the value here, so we just need to add with the angle given here. So the direction would be okay. So the answer is yes, correct. 144.8 degree. Okay, so are we clear for questions number 3? Do you guys have some questions or anything?
Doctor, how to write the full answer for the final answer? I mean, like, do we need to write 497.01 Newton in the direction of 144.8 degree?
Uh, you mean uh, how to summarize the answer?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Or we just leave it like that.
Um, uh, as long as you mention clearly, like this one, the resulting force is equal to 497.01. That should be correct. And also, and you mentioned this number is the direction. It should be correct. So if you still want to like summarize at the end, also can just to make it clear. But
Oh, okay.
somehow,
I got it. Thank you.
okay. As long as you how you point the, I mean, this is the questions and this is the answer. As long as that one related to each other, it should be correct. Okay. Uh, any other questions?
Why we choose 700 Newton?
Uh, sorry, pardon.
Why we choose 700 Newton?
You mean for the for this one? You mean right here why we use 700 Newton? Okay.
Ah.
So basically, we want to find the direction of the resultant force. So it says here the direction of the resultant force is counterclockwise from the positive x-axis. So the positive x-axis would be right here, and the resultant force is here. So that means the angles that we have to find is this here. Okay, so as you can see from the questions, they already gave us the angle here 60 degree. So yeah, if you see here, so that means we have to find the remaining here. The remaining here is equal to this one. We have to find the remaining angle for this one. Sure, we have two force here, 450 and also 700 Newton. But you cannot use it. You cannot use 450 in the calculation, because if you use 450 in the calculation, it will give you angle right here. Actually, also can but that would be longer work to do. If you use 450 Newton, you will find angle here, and then you can still find here after you 180, you minus the angle here and the angle here, you can still get here 450 also can use, but it takes more step to do to get to the answer. But if you use directly 700 Newton, you can directly get the angle here, because we use the sine law. So this one should be the force, and the sine B should be the angle opposite to the force here. So in this case, since we want to find the angle here, so we have to use the force opposite to the angle, which is 700. So that's how we get the angle here. And then since we want the direction, so we have to add this angle and also this angle, which is 84.8 plus 60, that will be equal to 144.8. So in summary, you can also you can still use either forces to find the answer, but 700 you can directly get the answer to for the angle, but for 450 you have to have more steps to get the answer. Can you are you clear?
Yeah. Thank you, Mandy.
Because we have more time, so I think I can show you the answer if we use 450. The value is a bit different, but I will get back to you later. I think I miscalculate somewhere something. This one I will get back to you guys later. And we proceed with questions number 4 first. You guys try to take 5 minutes to settle questions number 4. Okay, for questions number 4, the vertical force acts downward. So if we redraw the diagram, so it will be something like this. So this is the force downward 500 Newton. And then the questions wants us to determine the magnitude of the two components of F directed along the axis of F of A, B, and AC. So that would be around here for force AB, and force AC would be around here. And if we redraw into the triangle rule, it would be something like this. So for these questions, since we have the angle here 45 degree and the angle here 30 degree, so we can simply settle the angle here. Okay, because this is perpendicular, so it will be 90 minus 30 equal to 60. So this is 60 degree. And since we have angle here 45 degree and also here 60 degree, so we can just simply find the angle here. 180 minus 60 minus 45, and that would give us 75 degree. Okay, so since we already have all the angles, so we can just simply find F force AB and also force AC. So if we use the cosine rule and the sine rule, I mean, so the angle opposite to force AB would be 60. Okay, and then so this here 500 Newton, and the angle opposite to 500 Newton is sine 75. So if you guys solve this one, you guys will get 448 Newton. Correct. So force AB would be 448 Newton. So, and then we can use the same sine rule, which is F force AC. And force AC, you guys would get 366 Newton. Okay. Are you guys clear with questions number 4? How to get the angles and also the forces? So you guys clear? Or if you guys don't have any other questions, we will proceed to questions 5. Okay, guys, try to solve on your own first for 5 minutes, and then we will discuss the answer together. Okay, so if you guys are working on the questions, keep going. So in the meantime, we will discuss these questions together. So for questions number 5, we use different method from other questions is because sometimes we don't have enough information, like the information that given in the questions is not enough to use using triangle rule or parallelogram rule. So if in that case we still have another way to get our answers, which is we calculate the resultant force individually in x direction and also y directions. So that what happens with questions 5. So it's easier actually in this situation it's easier actually using this method to calculate the to calculate or to find the answer. So uh so we will calculate force for the resultant force separately between this part and also this part. So we will settle the upper part first. So for the upper part, we redraw the triangle. So for by using this information, we can actually find fxy and also fy1. Okay, so So this is the answer for force in the x and also y direction for the first force 400 Newton. So we know this is the direction of the force for 400 Newton. So in this direction and in this direction, if you guys calculate based on these two information only, you guys will get the answer in the x direction to be 346 Newton, and in y direction it will be 200 Newton. Okay, now we solve for the second force. We use the same concept. By using these two information, we can get fx2 and also fy2. Okay, for the second force of 800 Newton, you guys can get its individual force in x-axis and y-axis. So the force along in the direction of x-axis would be 565.94.69 Newton, and in y-axis it would be negative 565.96 Newton. Because this is actually negative 800 because it's actually in the negative area. It is point downward. Okay, this is because we define our direction upward is positive. So if we change our direction, it would be 595 point Newton. Okay, so you guys, the negative is actually very important here according to the definition of your directions. So if your directions you define positive upward, so negative would be the right answer. But then if you redefine it, the positive to be downward, it can be 565.69 Newton. Okay. Okay, so we now get the individual forces according to the x and also y axis. So now what we will do next is we will plus uh, the x force and also the y force. Eh, We will add them up. together. So this is the value that we get just now. So if we add up this the x force along the x-axis together, that would be equal to the resultant force value in the x direction. Okay. So this is negative because this is upward direction. So in if we define it downward, it will be positive. Okay. So now we have Fr in x and also y direction. So to get the resultant force, so you guys can just okay, so the answer to the resultant force is 982.67 Newton. So that is the the magnitude. So now we are looking for the directions. So for the directions, so just now we get in the x direction is here Newton. The resultant force is 983 Newton, and this one, sorry. one is, sorry, this one 982.67, and this one is 365.96. Okay, so for this one, this is the resultant force. And now, they want the direction to be clockwise from the positive axis. So that means positive axis is here, and this is the direction that we are looking for. So basically, we can use tan delta equal to and then you would get the angle to be 21.8 degree. So some of you said you guys use cosine rule to find the answer. So do you get the answer? Does the answer to be 21.8 using the cosine rule? Uh, if the answer, if you get the answer, then it's okay. You can use any rule to get the answer, because basically mathematics, if you guys find properly the value, I mean, how do you guys want to use the rule, whether it's tan, sine, or cosine rule, or any other rule, if you guys define properly and get the answer, as long as it's correct, it should be okay. Should be cosine rule. So you guys want to use the cosine rule. Okay. Let's try. Because before we try with the cosine rule, do you guys have any other questions related to questions number 5? Because we have only 8 minutes left for the tutorial session. Okay, I just want to make sure you guys are clear. Okay, we try together to use the cosine rule. So those who use cosine rule, do you get the answer? I think I miscalculate something. So, you should be able to get the answer. So I think I need to calculate back again because I didn't get the answer. This I will check once again. So basically, if you want to use cosine rule, this is how you guys define. How do you guys assign the numbers according to its positions? So you guys can try by on your own. So basically, so we have 3 minutes left. So you guys has any final questions or anything before we dismiss? Okay, if you guys don't have any questions, then we will end this session for today. And thank you for attending. And we will see again next week with the second tutorial. Okay, thank you. I'm a miss, so you guys can call me miss. Or madam also should be okay. I have no problem. Okay, thank you everyone. So so the questions, actually the questions is from the textbook. You guys can check your textbook, but if you need a copy, then I will send the questions to you guys later. Do you guys need the copy the questions? If you do, I will send later. Okay, thank you everyone. Uh, which edition the textbook do you guys use? This slide is actually not official, so I don't think I can give you the slide because it's not official. But I can give you the copy of the questions. Okay, later I will send you the tutorial questions for you guys to redo whenever you guys free. Okay, thank you for today's session.